In his book, How Music Works, David Byrne, one of the members of the band Talking Heads, says something about rhythm that I found very interesting. He said, "We are all Africans." And this is something I like because for the longest time, a lot of Africans have felt that our contribution to humanity hasn't been valid or solid. And secondly, the influence of African music on pop culture is immense, but has been downplayed severally, like often. One of the best examples of this is a song called Paulette, and it goes a little something like this. And it was sampled by a hip-hop musician called J. Cole, and he gave us something a little like this.
Cold world. Southside. Can't get enough. Can't get enough.
Music doesn't exist in a vacuum. We're always influencing each other. James Brown, for example, had a huge influence on Kenyan bands in the 70s. A lot of them sounded like him. And one of them, we had a Kenyan band leader called Kelly Brown back home. And yeah, and so you listen, like James Brown's genre is funk music. Funk is influenced a lot by jazz, and jazz is influenced by African music, so it's cyclical. Some of my earliest memories of the music my dad and my mom used to play, a lot of great African musicians like Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, Franco, and the works. I'd like to say I like to listen to this music, but it was painful to my ears. I hated it. And what I found myself gravitating towards was Michael Jackson, which also played a lot on Kenyan radio. And one of the musicians that had a huge impact on me was a band called the Mighty Cavaliers. It's an old Kenyan band, and they have a song called Dunia Ina Mambo, which I thought was perfection. It's one of my favorite Kenyan songs, and everything about it is, I love. I like everything about it, but I wanted to update the drums so that they have a bit more punch. And this is what I did 2 years ago to that song. So this musician, what I liked about them is like they're exceptional. They've been working on their music for the longest time. But one of the things is that no one back home considers their contribution important. And so with working with this music, I'm going backwards into Kenyan music history and trying to bring it forth so that the new generation that's listening to Kenyan music, which we are at the forefront of pushing, are exposed to these musicians and their work. And most importantly, one of the things I'm beginning to find is that a lot more people are tuned in. Fela Kuti once said, "I must find my identity in Africa, and then I will find myself." And in bringing this music back, people are beginning to know about it and looking back at what they did and loving their contribution. Thank you very much.